How many times in difficult or awkward situations have we wondered with an inward look, what is it that could have been done differently in this situation? Could we have executed a different set of actions that could have led to alternate outcomes? Absolutely. If any one of you has been thinking around this, please raise your hand. Great, good to see. My journey with graphology is a byproduct of few such experiences in the past that brought me to think. We all have different personalities and different personas, and our actions and reactions and behaviors in a set of situations are largely driven by our traits, by our values, by our deep beliefs, and all of which have a strong connection with how we think, and how we think has a strong connection with how we write. How many times have we thought, why is this individual behaving like this with me? Or is it just me? Is he or she not sensitive around this situation? And on and on and on. And I'm sure we didn't really find answers in those moments. For me, I've had a series of difficult moments that brought me to think, what is it that actually differentiates people? What is it that creates those nuances or those shades of difference in the reactions in life-altering circumstances? And that's where I embarked on a study of the handwriting analysis, or the science of graphology as it says. Our handwriting is nothing but a form of brain writing. It's the brain that sends impulses, and there is a strong connection between how we think and how we write. So what we write is actually exhibiting a set of thought patterns that are going on in our mind. And our handwriting is actually a combination of fixed and variable traits. What do I mean by that? Fixed traits are those which are central tendencies or core to a person. And variable traits are a byproduct of the current situations in the lives of the individuals. Now that was a new learning for me, and an important one. If variable traits are a byproduct of the current situations in the life of the individuals, then probably I could look at working on the variable traits in a structured way so that the transient phase could be addressed in a manner of desirable outcomes. And that's how I embarked on this study. How many of you are parents to teenagers here? Wow, I see quite a few hands. Interesting. Now, I am a mom of a teenager and a pre-teenager. And we all know how difficult teenagers can be to understand, and let alone the trail of thoughts further. I'll keep myself silent at this point. So a lot of times, it took me a while to understand, okay, why is a set of behaviors in a given manner? How could I understand my child better? And trust me friends, while this comes with a natural smile at this point of time, it wasn't when there were some red carpet moments I faced as the guest of honor at my child's school, with the teacher saying complaint A, complaint B, complaint C, complaint D, and on and on and on. While this comes with a smile for now, it was never so simple. And it is those nerve-wrenching and soul-stirring moments that got me thinking of what are the patterns of our subconscious mind that we need to decode. How do these get influenced? How can we understand these better, appreciate this better, so that we not only understand and enhance our level of self-awareness, but we are also able to translate it in our relationships with others. As I said, our handwriting is nothing but a reflection of how we think. So it actually reflects the space that we have in our relationships, even in our closest relationships. It reflects our alignment with our roots. It reflects how we think, how we accept differences, how easy or adaptable we are to change, how resilient are we, and a whole lot of things. So in a nutshell, if I can read a handwriting, it's like me being an X-ray machine. Jokes apart, an important discovery. For me, what were some of the revealing outcomes that helped me in my journey of learning graphology? And why did this play an important role? As I said, I'm a mother of two kids, a teen and a preteen. We all know that teenagers go through a set of changes during the peak years of their teens. And during these formative years, their behaviors go through changes. They experience various changes from an emotional level. And it is important for us to build bridges, not barriers. To build bridges and not barriers, we need to understand them better. Before we expect them to understand us, it's important for us to understand them. And so, my aim on embarking on graphology was to understand myself and understand my child better. So, what did I learn? Change, readiness, and adaptability. Our human brains are highly neuroplastic. What do I mean? Our human brains have an immense potential to adapt, survive, and thrive in a given situation. Whether it is sharing grasslands with sloths or sharing thought processes with close friends and sharing personal spaces with our close friends. We have evolved over time. And those imprints of our brain can be well identified from our handwritings. A lot of times, our identities are at risk. Why? Because we shy away from situations that hold a potential to change us, to alter us, to transform us. And what I have realized in life so far, some of the most difficult moments in life are those that hold an immense potential to transform us. So why run away? Face it. And each one of us seated here has a different level of change readiness and adaptability to changes. All of this can be visualized when we look at handwriting in a much more detailed view. We are able to see and appreciate why a certain individual is not able to survive in a given set of outcomes, in a given set of circumstances. We are able to see why an individual is behaving in a certain manner when put under pressure. Why can A withstand a set of circumstances whereas B can't? Why is C more resilient than D? So I think these were some of the things which came to light when I studied graphology. It helped me redefine myself. What do I mean by that? I am not an emotional sponge. I have an identity of my own. And with that realization, when that hit me, it helped me manage my own emotions better and thereby address the emotions of my child with a better lens. Unless we have that visibility, we will be feeling overwhelmed with a set of situations not running in the way we want them to be. How we embrace our failures. Studying different handwriting patterns, starting with my own, helped me understand and appreciate who is acceptive of differences and who is close to alternatives. How did that help me? It helped me get a better view of people and different traits, different personalities, how people could survive and thrive with differences, how much they could acknowledge the differences, and in which set of circumstances when we were not able to adapt with those set of changes, we failed to draw boundaries and the outcomes were justified. When I was able to draw a clearer perspective of my own failures, I was able to be more vulnerable and appreciative of individuals around me who experience similar or varying circumstances. Understanding emotional instability. This was another area that graphology helped me with. Now, on one of the red carpet moments, as I say, one of the parent-teacher meetings that I had at my child's school, there were a few other parents also, my fellow colleagues who were battling with similar issues. The teacher went on complaining. Your child doesn't sit in one place. He's constantly hopping around the class. What a source of nuisance. He's a maniac. Can you please integrate some discipline in your child? Parent was silent. Can you please treat your child not to be considering himself or labeling himself as a special entity in the class? He expects to be soaked in attention. The Pandora box of complaints was unending, and I kept watching. And incidentally, it so happened that my child brought the notebook of this celebrity kid home for completion of notes. And as she was completing her notes, I was sitting next to her and going through the pages. What I marked through during the few lines of the child's notebook was the child's handwriting had a mix of left and right slants both in the same paragraph, both within the few set of lines. A strong characteristic or a strong marker of emotional instability. Furthermore, as I analyzed the margins, the spacings between the letters, between the lines, and the various other characteristics of writing, I figured out that the child found it extremely difficult to follow rules, to acknowledge differences with people, and to operate within a governed framework. And when I put all these things, when I connected all the dots together, the teacher's explanation made sense. So, some of these traits, as I kept studying them in more detail, I was able to work with my own kids with an improved level of awareness. How did it help me foster an improved sense of inclusivity? It helped me be appreciative that each one of us is unique as an individual, be it whatever age. And when we are able to acknowledge those differences, we are able to harmonize and come up to solutions with a better level of consensus. We can have differences of opinion, but it is important that we are respectful of those differences and we are able to achieve and execute a certain set of tasks in a more harmonious manner. As I draw towards the end of this conversation, I would say well-being matters. Our inner voice matters. If I were to leave you with one question today to reflect, it would be this. If as a parent, you would want your child to trust you and open up to you on difficult days, what is the one feeling that you would like your child to walk away with when he or she approaches you? It's a point to reflect. Have I mastered that feeling? No, I'm still on the journey. Rules matter. Parenting styles matter. The voices in our head matter. Most of all, our conversations matter and our handwriting matters. Thank you.